What I have over here is known as a smoke leak detector test. And the purpose is to pinpoint the exact position where there is a leak in your air intake system. For instance, you realize that maybe you have got low compression in your car and you're suspecting maybe there's a leakage or a vacuum leak in your air intake system. This is where this test comes in handy. How does it work? Let me demonstrate. You realize over here, it comes with two cables. This one is the positive cable, this one is the ground cable. So for these two, this one you plug it onto the positive terminal of the battery, and this one you clip it on any part of the body which will serve as the ground. Now we've got this funnel shape thing over here. This funnel shape, you fit it into your air intake system. For instance, this pipe over here, I'm supposed to fit it in. Let me show you. You fit it in and ensure that it's completely airtight, all right? Ensure that there is no smoke that can leak whatsoever. Another thing to note is that on this test, there is oil. We usually put some glycol-based oil, and that is what is burnt to produce smoke. So now when I connect the positive terminal to the positive terminal of the battery, then this ground terminal, I'll clip it on any part of the body and it will serve as the ground. And now you realize when I do that, the power is blinking. This power button is blinking. Let me adjust it until it's completely straightforward on red. It's not blinking at all. See, it's red. Now, after that, I switch on this smoke switch. The smoke button beeps green. After that, I turn this knob up because you realize right now it's down here below at around 0. So what I do is I turn it up. Turn it up maybe to around maybe 3. When I do that, smoke has started to be produced. And now when you take a keen look over here, smoke is leaking from this part. That tells you that there is a leak in the air intake system at this specific place. And when you look at it closely, it seems like there was some modification that maybe a mechanic had previously tried to maybe seal the leak off, but it was not successful. So you realize when you've got vacuum leaks in your car, it results into loss of power in your car. You realize that your car is underperforming. That is because the air-fuel ratio is not being met in your car. And when the air-fuel ratio is not being met in your car, it compromises on the power produced. When it compromises on the power produced, your car will not function as it should. So anyway, there you have it. I hope you understand what a smoke leak detector test is all about. And now finally, let's look at the actual operation of a smoke leak detector. Over here, we've got an oil filling pot. All you have to do is unscrew this, cork over there. And then in here, you top up the right oil. There's a specific oil that is meant for this smoke leak detector test. Then after that, hey, this thing is really, okay, I'm not the best when it comes to, hey, then you ensure that you have tightened the cork back in place. Now over here we've got this spot over here. It's actually written power. This is where you connect power from. And this one is connected to these two cables. This one goes to the positive terminal, this one to the ground terminal, just like I've already illustrated. You know, before you start this smoke leak detector test, you always ensure that the oil is in the right quantity. There's a minimum level, there is a maximum level. Always ensure that the right quantity is adhered to. Now, what is the purpose of a smoke leak detector test? The purpose of this is to figure out if there is any vacuum leaks in your air intake system. What is a vacuum leak? A vacuum leak is if there is any hole somewhere that is now allowing in more air to get into the combustion chamber that is not accounted for. Understand one thing, we have the mass airflow sensor for the measurement of the amount of air that is getting into your combustion chamber. However, when there are vacuum leaks in your intake system, it now means that more air is getting into your intake system, but it's not passing through the mass airflow sensor. That means the air-fuel ratio is not attained. So what you do is, see this funnel shaped over here? You fit it into one of the intake pipes in the intake system, completely air fit. Then after that, you go on about connecting this to the power source. Then once you connect this to the power source, there is this power button over here.
it's supposed to flicker red. After it flickers red, you press onto the smoke switch. It's written smoke switch. When you flick on the smoke switch, this one turns color green. The purpose of the oil that you're filling in here is what results into production of smoke. Because once you've connected to the power, it results into the oil being burnt, producing some really sweet smelling smoke. By the way, it's sweet smelling smoke. Now that smoke, once you feed it into the intake system, if there's any leak anywhere or there's any hole somewhere, now the smoke will start as in emanating from there. You'll now see smoke leaving through that point where there's a hole. Now that's how you know that there are vacuum leaks in your system. You know, the advantages of vacuum leaks is one, it results into power loss in your car. So you might start maybe thinking your mass airflow sensor is faulty, your oxygen sensor is faulty, but in reality, it's just a hole or a vacuum leak that is in your system. And that is why here in Precision Automotive, we don't take shortcuts. We always ensure that our diagnoses are precise and to the point, because when you perfectly diagnose a car, then you can perfectly fix that car. So if you've got any issues with your car, kindly visit us at Precision Automotive. We are located along Moringa Road in Kilimani. Alternatively, you can just call us on this number 0786 888 988. I repeat again, 0786 888 988. You just call us, tell us your issues, and we will book you in. Always ensure that you do a prior booking so that we can give you a specific date when we can serve you to our level best and give you the right attention that your car deserves. So yes, thank you. And now, if you've not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe. This is where I share informative and educative car content in depth and in detail that is not just beneficial to you as a car owner, but also as a potential car owner and also as a driver. So kindly subscribe.